Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our program today. We're so excited to be here with you. My name is Ellie Darrow, and I am the Nutrition Program Coordinator for Blood Cancer United's Nutrition Education Services Center, which is also referred to as NESC. We hope you enjoy the webinar that we've planned for you. I am proud to introduce Unite to Nourish Holiday Eating for Cancer Survivors. Throughout the presentation, you'll see web pages, resources, and recipes for you to explore. We will email the full presentation shortly after the program today. And as well, it will be available on bloodcancerunited.org and bloodcancerunitednutrition.org in the coming days. Next slide. The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society is now Blood Cancer United. You may still see links, pages, or emails referencing our previous name. Please know that we are the same organization with the same mission, and thank you so much for your continued support during this exciting transition. Here's a quick look at our agenda for today's presentation. We have disabled the chat for today's program. However, there will be a Q&A session at the end. So please submit your questions using the Q&A feature, which should be at the bottom of your screen. We are also excited to include video submissions from Blood Cancer United staff and patients whom share their personal tips for eating well during the holidays. Thank you to those who have submitted. Next slide. As I mentioned earlier, the NESC is your hub for all things nutrition. We proudly offer free nutrition consultations with our dietitians over the phone for patients with any type of cancer. We also provide a wide range of free print, video, and audio materials on our website, bloodcancerunitednutrition.org. I'll share more details about these offerings at the end of today's program. Next slide. We'd like to share a quick disclaimer. The Nutrition Education Services Center is for information purposes only. It is not intended to substitute for the advice of your healthcare team or provide medical diagnosis, treatment, or therapy. Please consult your healthcare team before making any changes to your medical plan, diet, or physical activity. I am now pleased to introduce our first speaker, registered dietitian Heather Knutson, a Minnesota native. She is board certified in oncology nutrition and has enjoyed working in oncology for over a decade. Heather earned her Bachelor of Science degree in dietetics from the University of North Dakota and her master's degree from Rosalind Franklin University in Chicago. She is an advocate for personalized care and feels honored to be invited into the lives of her clients during their personal journey with cancer. In her free time, Heather enjoys spending time with her husband, two sons, her cat Kevin, and her dog Russell. She is passionate about triathlons and vegan culinary delights and is always open to new adventures. Thanks, Heather.
Thank you, Ellie. And we'll start off with our first poll on a popular holiday staple. What is your favorite pie to eat during the holidays? Is it A, apple, B, berry, C, pecan, D, pumpkin, E, all of the above, or F, I prefer something else? Looks like lots of pumpkin and lots of apple. I tend to be a raspberry pie girl, but do enjoy all pie. Thank you. Looks like pumpkin is the leader by a slim margin there, with apple as a close second. Wonderful. Thank you. So I'm going to talk today about how to eat healthy through the holidays, and I promise this does not need to be an oxymoron. During this season, it can feel like decadent foods and tempting treats are everywhere. And it seems to last from, October all the way to January. I oftentimes hear from cancer survivors who want to eat healthy but are unsure how to navigate the food scene this time of year. With some planning, it is possible to maintain your health goals and feel good while still enjoying your favorite foods. Think about your plan or intentions for approaching the holiday eating as we talk about strategies to eat healthy through the holidays. Let's start by setting the stage. Honor the actual holiday and the foods traditional to you. It's important to connect over cherished family traditions, passing them down from generation to generation. In my family, we still enjoy lefse that came from a recipe from my husband's great aunt. Today, we'll leave the food consumed on the actual holiday alone and talk about ways to maintain healthy eating on all of the other days through the holiday season. The food that we eat occasionally, as on the actual day of the holiday that you celebrate, is not what defines our health. It's largely the lifestyle choices that we make several times each week, week after week consistently, that make the largest impacts on our health. Note that medical diet restrictions should still be maintained through the holidays, such as restrictions for chronic kidney disease, congestive heart failure, or diabetes. Here are some tips for situations when holiday treats are readily available and may be challenging to limit how many you eat. The first tip is to be choosy. Is there a treat that is special to you and unique to the holiday, or one that you could take it or leave it? You have permission to be picky and choose the treats that you look forward to and truly enjoy. At home, try to keep treats out of sight. Store them on a top shelf or in a place where they aren't visible or easy to access. Share goods with your neighbors. Keep them in your freezer until you're ready to serve them, or wait to make treats until it's closer to when you need them. Consider in advance how many you need and don't make too many extra. It can be helpful not to purchase tempting foods too far in advance. Decide beforehand what your treat budget or allotment is, which may look like limiting yourself to enjoying a couple small treats per week. To limit temptation of over-consuming treats through the day, plan in advance to have healthier snacks available to you and don't skip meals. This can help prevent you from becoming overly hungry and more likely to crave or overeat sweet treats. As a reminder, all of the slides will be posted on our website, bloodcancerunitednutrition.org, and the links to the original recipes will be included on those slides. I'll share a few recipes today that feature cancer-fighting ingredients and would be great options to include through the holiday season. Our first recipe today is carrot cake baked oatmeal, and this dish contains a variety of plant foods such as oats, chia seed, carrots, and raisins. And this really could be a special breakfast or a dessert. And it also makes your kitchen smell super good. It does taste a little sweet and has maple syrup in it, which may appeal to those who are experiencing taste change. It could also be a great option for those with mouth sores or swallowing challenges. And really, like anytime I can squeeze some vegetables into breakfast, it's a win. So it's challenging to address holiday eating without talking about the relationship between sugar and cancer. And we get these questions fairly frequently. And there's a lot of misconceptions floating around surrounding this topic. And so for this conversation, we're going to define added sugar as ingredients such as table sugar, brown sugar, molasses, honey, agave nectar, maple syrup. I'm guessing most of us have heard the statement, sugar feeds cancer. And there's a lot more nuance in this statement than it may allude to. Limiting added sugar is helpful for many health-related reasons. Available evidence does not support the notion that added sugar directly causes cancer. The connection between sugar and cancer is more indirect than many realize. Consuming lots of high sugar foods can result in a higher calorie intake, which may lead to weight gain that may increase your risk of several cancer types long term. Think years and decades of time. You may have heard of or experienced a PET scan in which you are given glucose, which is a type of sugar, and observed on the imaging that the cancer cells pick up the glucose and light up. It's important to acknowledge that many cells in your body are, in fact, still picking up or using the glucose for energy as well. Cancer cells do everything at a faster rate, and the PET scan is designed to pick up the cells that are using the glucose at a faster rate, and not all of the other cells that are using glucose at a much slower rate. Having more glucose in your blood does not mean that cancer cells may grow faster. Many cells in our body, including cancer cells, use sugar in the form of glucose from our bloodstream for fuel. The glucose or sugar in our body primarily comes from two different sources. One is through our diet, from carbohydrates we consume. So this can be from added sugar, but also from foods like vegetables, fruit, whole grains, and dairy products. The other way glucose can find its way inside our body occurs when we haven't consumed enough carbohydrates or when we are not eating for longer periods of time, such as when we are sleeping and not consuming carbohydrates. In this case, your liver steps up and produces glucose by breaking down other tissues in your body, such as your muscles. This process helps to keep your blood sugar within a certain range needed to keep you alive, which really is cool how amazing our bodies are. So even if you are not consuming carbohydrates or added sugars, you must still maintain a certain amount of glucose in your body. It's recommended for general health to limit added sugar in your diet to no more than 6 to 10% of your overall diet, or between 25 to 60 grams of added sugar per day, depending on your calorie needs. So yes, do limit added sugar, but it also means that it doesn't need to be zero added sugar in your diet. So let's talk a little bit about snacks. For many people, snacks make up a third of their daily calories. So choices here can have a big impact. When choosing snacks, prioritize combining a protein source with a food that comes from a plant. This combination of protein and fiber can help fill you up and help you to feel satisfied longer and providing you with lots of nutrients and supporting weight management. We talked earlier about having a plan for healthy snacks to help prevent overindulging in treats. Here are some examples of some simple, quick and easy possible snack ideas. We have hummus and carrots, peanut butter and banana, yogurt and berries, a hard-boiled egg and cucumbers, cottage cheese and cantaloupe, cheese cubes and grapes, and roasted almonds and dried apricots. And certainly there are infinite combinations you could create to suit your preferences. Aim to eat a healthier snack about 30 to 60 minutes before you are at the point of feeling overly hungry to keep your energy levels stable throughout the season. Moving on to setting up your plate when you're planning meals. The New American Plate is an evidence-based meal planning tool created by the American Institute for Cancer Research from the collection of global research on lifestyle and cancer. It features cancer-fighting foods and is recommended for cancer prevention, cancer survivorship, weight management, and it may reduce risk for other chronic diseases. So in this model, you'd aim for 2/3 or more, where the number 1 is on the plate, of your plate to include plant-based foods such as vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and beans. Notice that the plate here has a variety of colorful vegetables and some grains filling a majority of the plate. Looking at number 2 on the plate, fill 1/3 of your plate or less with lean animal-based protein sources, such as fish, skinless poultry, eggs, low-fat dairy, or occasional red meat. You can see the 3-ish ounce portion of chicken there on the plate. So for many people, I find this might look like shifting the portion sizes on your plate to consuming smaller amounts of animal-based protein and including more vegetables and plant-based foods. The New American Plate recommends choosing water or other unsweetened beverages. Limit foods high in salt, saturated fat, refined starches, and added sugars, as well as processed meats, alcohol, and sugar-sweetened beverages. And you can use this New American Plate model when you are meal planning at home, dining out, or when you're filling your plate at a holiday event. So on the screen here, you can see some examples of what everyday meals could look like using the New American Plate model. Notice how much color they have with a variety of plant-based foods and how healthy meals can really be favorite foods such as potatoes, meatloaf, tacos, chili, and eggs. So the simple strategy and thing to remember when you're planning meals or serving yourself at a holiday event is look for number 1, a lean protein, and 2, at least 2 to 3 servings of plant foods. And at restaurants, I find it pretty common for them to have a salad or steamed vegetables that you can add to your meal. So for our entree recipe, we have a beautiful roasted vegetable lasagna. It's a healthier and more colorful twist on a winter classic. This dish can make a great option for your holiday menu or a nice winter meal. It's high in fiber from the tomato sauce, eggplant, zucchini, and whole wheat lasagna noodles. If you don't prefer one of those vegetables, feel free to swap it out for another vegetable that you do like, such as mushrooms, spinach, or red peppers. It's also high in protein coming from the whole wheat noodles, mozzarella, cottage or ricotta cheese, and egg. Maybe add a leafy green vegetable or leafy green salad on the side, and you have a delicious balanced meal. Now we'll hear from some wonderful tips for navigating good nutrition through the holiday season from our first cancer survivor, Stephanie Cracknell.
Hi there, my name is Stephanie Cracknell. I am a non-Hodgkin lymphoma survivor. I am 3 years in remission. And the nutrition strategy that helps me maintain healthy eating through the holiday season is one, I don't deprive myself of anything. I start my day healthy. I pretty much have the same thing every day, especially around the holiday season. It's either a protein shake with a little bit of spinach, some berries, something like that, probably about 30 to 40 grams of protein. Then I know I've started my day well, and come up way during the day, I know I've made one good choice. For if I'm having a meal out, or I'm having a big meal at with family or friends, or things of that nature, I tend to make sure that I have plenty of vegetables. I have some healthy choices. If I'm going to a party, I bring something healthy with me, so that even if I have a nibble of this, that, and the other thing that is not as healthy, I have some healthy options with me. And I know I've made some good choices there. I tend to, if I have like a Christmas meal or Thanksgiving meal or something like that, I make sure 2 of my meals are healthy. And then the other, I have a little, maybe a little more indulgent. I go for walks as well, so that I just feel better, and it helps keep the cravings away. But if I have a little bit of what I fancy, then I don't tend to go off the rails. So that is my way to go. Have a happy holiday season.
And thank you for sharing those great tips, Stephanie. I frequently hear from cancer survivors who perceive that they are not eating a good diet and maybe voice a lot of guilt over their food choices. And this can really feel magnified over the holidays. However, I find that when we walk through their diet and they share what they are eating and what their diet pattern is, that they are actually doing a lot of things really well. They might be consuming a lot of foods that are supporting their health and doing much better with their diet than they thought. Don't let perfection be the enemy of good. We all have room in our diet to make improvements or can learn how to make adjustments to our nutrition as we experience changes in life, which can be receiving a cancer diagnosis. There are so many messages we receive from media sources about foods being either good or bad. No one is perfect, and no food is good or bad either. It is really our long-term diet patterns that play the biggest role. Eating a dessert or meal that you deem unhealthy does not undo your diet, and it is not all or nothing. You can enjoy your favorite foods and still maintain a perfectly good diet. So I challenge you to focus this season on what you are doing well and on the great foods that you are including in your diet, giving yourself credit for all of the positive choices that you're making. Here are some tips that you can use to navigate food at holiday events as a cancer survivor. Stay well hydrated through the day leading up to the event. Don't go to the event hungry. Eat beforehand or have a snack to prevent going to the event feeling like you are starving. Survey the food options available before filling your plate. Look for the protein and the plants and prioritize one or two fun foods that you want to include. Avoid grazing. Fill your plate once and then step away from the food to avoid temptation and overconsumption. If you do still feel hunger, wait about 20 minutes before going back for more. Decide what you're going to have for dessert or for a treat and enjoy that treat without guilt instead of maybe tasting them all or having several. And when you're done eating, have a mint. Not only does this freshen your breath and signal the end of a meal, but it also can be a mild appetite suppressant. And the next recipe here is for mandarin kale salad with cranberry dressing. This is such a vibrant and delicious salad. It includes a variety of seasonal cancer-fighting foods such as pecans, mandarin oranges, kale, and cranberries. The vinegar-based dressing can be helpful to improve taste for those experiencing taste change. Sometimes kale gets a bad reputation for being a little bit bitter or tough. The secret to preparing kale well before adding it to the salad is to massage the kale for a bit. After you wash it and tear it up, you can massage the kale kind of like this with clean hands until it becomes softer and turns like a nice bright green. And the cool thing about using kale in a salad is that kale does not wilt like other greens do after you add the dressing, so it will stay fresh in the fridge for some time. And this makes it a great dish to make in advance and take along to an event to share a healthy dish. And if you still don't like kale, that's cool too. There's not one magically healthy food that you absolutely must eat. Feel free to substitute a romaine lettuce or other leafy green instead of using kale. Alcohol can be very prevalent over the holiday season. It's important to recognize that alcohol is never helpful for cancer. The American Institute for Cancer Research recommends that if you choose to consume alcohol, limit it to no more than one standard alcoholic drink per day for women, and no more than 2 standard alcoholic drinks per day for men. If you plan to drink alcohol, decide how much you will consume before leaving home to prevent overconsuming. Alcohol can lower your inhibitions and may lead to overeating. It can also be helpful to treat alcohol like you would treat a dessert, or have that as your treat. Especially if you are currently receiving cancer treatment, please talk to your doctor before consuming alcohol to best understand what risks might be for you. One alternative to alcohol is mocktails and the wide variety of non-alcoholic beverages available. This apple cider teeny mocktail is quick to make and a great option for all ages. It features apple, orange, and pomegranate juices. And when you're shopping for juices, look for the ones that say 100% juice. You can serve this in a fancy glass for adults. You could add a cinnamon stick or dried orange slices or apple slices to elevate it a little bit. Frozen cranberries also make a beautiful garnish that is inexpensive and easy to toss in a drink. And food isn't the only way to nourish your body. Explore non-food ways that resonate with you and your family and friends that can nourish your soul along with connection. Food often takes center stage at holiday gatherings, but it doesn't need to be the only star of the show. Prioritizing connection or other activities over the holiday season can take the pressure off food a little bit. Take other opportunities to connect and make memories that don't revolve around food. After meals, step away from food and make space to connect. You could consider starting a new tradition of taking a walk after a holiday meal. You could also connect over making music, playing games, or playing a game of multi-generational football. Seasonal foods can provide good fuel and be very festive. These foods are examples of great health supporting foods that are in season over the holidays. So note the lean proteins such as the skinless turkey and nuts, and all the wonderful, colorful, cancer-fighting plant-based foods. So we have high fiber carbohydrates such as potatoes, sweet potatoes, pomegranate, winter squash, and cranberries, and non-starchy vegetables such as the greens and pumpkin. These may or may not be the traditional foods you enjoy on a holiday, or you may prepare these foods in a different way or in a more decadent way on the holiday. Including seasonal foods that you enjoy can deliver the comfort of the holiday spirit while still supporting your health. The final recipe to share today features wonderful seasonal foods such as pears, winter squash, and onion. This roasted butternut squash soup can also be a great option for hydration. Soup counts as fluids as well, and it serves as a good comfort food. It's a very simple recipe to make and can be a great option when you're not feeling well, or you could make it a wonderful soup to serve as a winter meal. And it freezes super well. And I will turn it back to you, Ellie.
Thank you so much, Heather. I am excited to try some of those recipes. At this time, I would like to introduce our Manager of Nutrition Education, Margaret Martin. She is a licensed dietitian and nutritionist in the state of Tennessee, as well as a certified diabetes care and education specialist. Margaret has worked with Blood Cancer United's Nutrition Education Services for over 10 years as a registered dietitian. She graduated from the University of Alabama with a Bachelor of Science in Dietetics and earned her master's degree in nutrition science from the University of Tennessee. Margaret has worked in public health, hospital nutrition services, the insurance industry with WellPoint, Anthem, and Blue Cross Blue Shield. The best part of her job, she says, is meeting people and helping them find food choices that fit their goals. In her free time, Margaret loves to travel. She recently returned from Florida Beach, cheers for Alabama football, and enjoys playing toss with her dog Rose.
Thank you, Ellie, for that nice introduction. To start our discussion about managing side effects, let's take a quick poll. What is your go-to strategy for the holidays? A, making dishes I like. B, enjoying dinners and events. C, asking for help with tasks. D, avoiding large crowds. Or E, I'm not sure. So looks like we're getting a lot of great responses there. All right. So we'll take a couple more seconds. All right. Well, it looks like avoiding large crowds is neck and neck with enjoying events and friends. So sounds like a great time. Thank you. All right. Next slide. Well, holidays are full of relationships, events, and special foods, but side effects from cancer or your treatment may occur. These side effects can be a challenge, especially this time of year when your schedule might be very different. You may be concerned how to cope with these changes, so let's explore some strategies. Next. Today, we're going to look at some frequent side effects that patients and families share with us. The side effects we will discuss are fatigue, nausea, taste changes, digestive issues, weight changes, and immune system. For each slide, we'll offer some strategies to help you manage and enjoy the holidays. Let's talk about fatigue. Fatigue is the number one reported side effect in cancer patients, and it has many different causes and management points. When you throw the holidays into the fatigue landscape, you can get overwhelmed quickly. This stress can lead to more fatigue and inertia. Be proactive to manage fatigue. Try some new strategies, set goals that include how much you're going to commit to, maybe events, gift giving, and necessary holiday preparation. You don't have to do the same things you've always done. So prioritize your favorite foods, activities, and events that have the most meaning and joy to you. Examples, maybe attend one event per week with friends instead of 3 with other groups that may mean less to you. Perhaps bake one pie instead of 2. And if your goals are different from prior years, be sure to share these with your new intentions with others so they can manage their expectations as well. Ask others if they can help with your cooking, shopping, and home activities. Many people want to help, but they may not know what would be helpful to you. So give them some choices. Also, remember to include self-care time in your planning. You could try a new tradition of a spa service with friends instead of going for a heavy holiday event meal. Add extra bits of time for rest and relaxation. It's okay to do nothing and have some me time. Be physically active that is safe for you. Physical movement is the one lifestyle strategy that research show is effective in treating fatigue management. Rest when you can, especially before meals, to save energy for eating and enjoying your meal partners. Plan your hydration and foods ahead of time to limit decision making and stress. Eat often to fuel your body's nutritional needs, especially protein and whole foods. It's okay to have desserts and snack foods, but don't let them replace totally your veggies, protein, whole grains, and other plant foods. Next, let's talk about nausea. Nausea and feeling of queasiness can limit your joy and attendance at holiday events. Consider some of these strategies to reduce nausea. Timing is important. Timing of nourishments can help reduce the risk and severity of nausea. Each day, your stomach produces usually 8 to 17 cups of digestive juices, acid, and enzymes. If you don't keep something on your stomach, these juices can make you feel nauseous. So eat a small meal or snack every 2 or 3 hours. Adjust the volume of what you eat. This can help control nausea as well. Small amounts of foods and beverages are less work for your body at one time and may produce less side effects. Think about some flavor choices to help tame your nausea. Ginger, mint, like peppermint and wintergreen, and lemon are flavorings and also can be scents to help manage nausea. You can use ginger or mint teas, candies made with these, lemon candy, or squeezing lemon into water, or even sucking on a small slice of lemon can help nausea. And don't forget, the aroma of lemon may be helpful as well. Of course, avoiding lots of rich, heavy foods or reducing your portions may reduce nausea as well. Temperature of your nourishments matter. Why? Well, hot, steamy food and beverages may give off strong odors that contribute to nausea. To limit this, reach for cool foods like sandwiches, fruits, cold cereal, popsicles, crackers, as well as chocolate milk instead of hot chocolate. It's just a few examples. Avoid other strong scents and aromas if they trigger nausea. Examples might be cleaning supplies, perfumes, and air fresheners. And stay cool. Use a fan or a personal fan to prevent hot flashes, whiffs of cooking smells, and redirect any annoying aromas. Dress in layers to be ready for sudden shifts in your body temperature. Try to be in charge of the thermostat to set it to a comfortable temperature, or go into another room if that's helpful to you. Now, let's talk about some taste changes. Holidays are full of flavorful foods that you look forward to all year round. But changes in your taste perception can reduce your food intake and interest in eating. Our holiday favorite foods often have specific flavors that we look forward to. There's much research about taste issues and cancer. So let's look at some ideas here. Trigger for taste changes beyond cancer treatment and medication can be dry mouth sores, changes in your ability to smell, underhydration, and maybe nerve damage from surgery. You may lose the ability to taste one or more of the known tastes as listed on the slide, including the newest taste identified as umami, or the savory taste. Or food may just not taste like you expect it to be tasting. To cope, keep your mouth moist. We have to have moisture and water in our mouth in order to carry flavors over to your taste buds on your mouth or on your tongue. So add moistures at meals like gravies, syrups, applesauce, and other fruits, jams, yogurt, and beverages. Change how you eat. Alternate bites of foods with a sip of water or a beverage to add moisture. Be ready to eat. Rinse your mouth before meals with a cup of warm water in which you have dissolved 1/4 a teaspoon of baking soda and 1/8 a teaspoon of table salt. Swish and rinse several times. This freshens your mouth and reminds your mouth to make saliva for the much needed moisture. And add flavors with taste that you can detect the best. Studies have shown that adding flavors to tone down offensive taste and enhance your preferred taste are very helpful. Some ideas might be different spices, drizzles of olive oil and maple syrup, squeezes of citrus like lemon juice on your food, and adding condiments like ketchup, salad dressing, and barbecue sauce may help. And try changing some of your habits. Adding moisture to meat and poultry really helps flavor. You can marinate these before cooking. Most proteins are much better tolerated than dry, stringy proteins. Try different flavors if your old flavors don't work for you. If you have a metallic taste in your mouth, switch to bamboo or plastic utensils and add a drizzle of olive oil or a sprinkle of table salt to your food to reduce metallic taste. Now let's move on to digestive issues. Digestive issues, in addition to nausea, may be gas, bloating, constipation, and diarrhea. Gas and bloating can cause you to lose interest in food because you feel full. Try eating slowly. Use fewer gas-producing foods like cabbage, broccoli, fizzy beverages, and observe if the gas and bloating are worse after certain foods and beverages. Then you can adapt your meals. Constipation is also a very limiting side effect at the holidays. Try managing it by increasing fiber, hydration, and physical movement if you're clear for physical movement. You might try bran and prune juice or prune juice, stewed prunes at night, and talk to your medical team about any medications that can help. Diarrhea is caused by many things, your treatment, but it also can be worsened by rich foods at the holidays. So watch out for foods that might be high in fat or sugar content. Try sports drinks, electrolyte products, broths, clear liquids, crackers and pretzels, rice and banana to slow down diarrhea. And hydrate after each stool. Take medication as prescribed by your doctor. Soft, creamy foods or moist textures can be easier to eat and digest. So try a change in texture. Chew each bite well and include the fiber that works best for you, which we'll discuss next. And limit the foods that may be worrisome. Now let's dive into fibers. Not all fibers are created equally or have the same effect on your body and digestion. That we're going to talk about two types of fiber today and their benefit to your body. Soluble fibers help slow down loose bowels and diarrhea. Examples are oatmeal, barley, carrots, green beans, peeled potatoes, banana, and applesauce. Some of these foods might be familiar to you from an old diet called the Brat diet. Insoluble fiber is not digested by the body. It helps if you have a slow bowel movement pattern or if you have constipation. Examples might be whole grains like whole wheat products, legumes, nuts, seeds, broccoli, cauliflower, leafy greens, and berries. Now let's talk about weight changes. Weight changes can be a side effect of holiday celebrations, special meals, and food gifts in abundance, but it doesn't have to be an issue. Set a limit on weight gain that's realistic for you, or aim to keep a stable weight during the holidays. Employ habits that help you control food intake, but still allow you to enjoy the holidays and your favorite treats. These choices revolve around portion sizes, selection of your food and drinks, physical movement, and adding some new options. So serve yourself one portion of food instead of filling up your plate or bowl. Use lean entrees and sauces. Some recipes may have large amount of fats and sugars as one example. Reducing them in a recipe may still give you a wonderful, tasty food. As Heather mentioned, walk after meals or do some light sports to stimulate digestion and to increase your calorie burn off. Instead of ordering a large meal to enjoy, order a small appetizer or share an entree with a friend. And try to increase your plants by using more fruits and veggies. Reach for unsweetened beverages. Some beverages can have 250 to 300 calories per serving. So be aware of those low nutrient, higher calorie beverage choices. Now let's hear from Lori and her nutrition coping strategies during the holidays. She is an acute myeloid leukemia survivor.
Hi, I'm Lori, and I just recognized the 4th year since my diagnosis of AML. During this odyssey and during the holidays, I always just eat in moderation, don't deny myself anything, and enjoy the season.
Thank you, Lori, for sharing with us. Of course, your immune system is often top of mind during the holidays. It is a dynamic system in our body, which changes often. Your lifestyle and food choices can help your immune system be as strong as possible. So put yourself first as priority number one during the holidays, especially if your immune system is low or compromised. This may involve doing things differently over the holidays. We'll look at 4 areas to help support your immune system: food safety, food choices, personal safety, and managing side effects. Uh, Food safety is often divided into 4 categories by the United States Department of Agriculture, such as the areas of cooking, cleaning, chilling, and separating your food. Strategies include washing your hands and food preparation tools before cooking. Wash or rinse your vegetables and fruits under running water with a soft cloth or produce brush to dislodge any particles on the food. Check the doneness of protein foods with a thermometer. You cannot tell if a food is done just by visually looking at it. And use separate cutting boards and utensils for produce and protein. Thaw your holiday turkey in the refrigerator by using recommended time frames. One such time frame is allow 1 day in the refrigerator for thawing for every 4 to 5 pounds of a frozen turkey. Holidays can be a stressful time, which may lead to decreased appetite and food intake, resulting in unwanted weight loss. So maintain a healthy eating plan, include nutrient-dense foods like protein choices, omega-3 fatty acid choices like fish and walnuts, and phyto or plant choices like our legumes, fruits, whole grains, and veggies. Also be aware of your personal space. If you have low cell counts, you may prefer to wear a mask or avoid big crowds, or just opt for smaller events. You can also choose a virtual celebration, like visiting online with FaceTime or meeting outdoors if weather permits. Avoid rapid weight loss during the holidays. Try to snack 2 to 3 times a day if your appetite or food intake is low. Next, let's delve into food safety deeper. Remember, bacteria that causes foodborne illness cannot be smelled or tasted. So be mindful of the food safety guidelines, which are important for everyone, not just for people with cancer. Leftovers and handling them are an opportunity to reduce the risk of foodborne illness. Be sure to refrigerate them quickly within 2 hours of serving if your environment or room temperature is moderate. If you're celebrating outside where the temperature is over 90 degrees, refrigerate the leftovers more quickly within 1 hour of serving. Dishes with a higher risk of foodborne illness, if not stored properly, are entrees, meats, fish, poultry, and dishes made with eggs, mayonnaise, and/or dairy. Plan ahead if you're traveling with food or going to take leftovers home with you. Bring a cooler with you to keep the foods in the safe temperature zone. Date your food and write on the calendar the date to discard the foods. If storing in the refrigerator, use up leftovers usually within 1 to 6 months. And be sure to reheat any leftovers to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. So, in general, holidays can be busy and demanding. It's easy to get overwhelmed when you have a long to-do list, but side effects still remain with you, even when you're having fun. So here are some tips to manage side effects during holiday events. Ask for help with events, activities, and food prep, especially if you've been the organizer or the go-to chef in past years. Share your favorite recipes and tips for cooking with others so that these food traditions can carry on. Make a plan to cook in advance if you can and pace yourself. And remember, it's okay to use some pre-prepared dishes or frozen choices to simplify your food preparation. Instead of having a big meal or event, think about having a smaller or simpler event, such as sharing appetizers, a cookie swap, soup and sandwich, or brunch. Be sure to share in advance with your host or hostess any dietary restrictions you may have. Ask to go first through the dinner or buffet line to limit exposure from other people handling the food. And bring your own best dish that works for you, especially if you have side effects or dietary restrictions on your treatment protocol. That way you won't feel left out and you'll definitely be able to enjoy a dish that works for you. Prioritize your events. Plan to attend the events that give you the most joy and that fit within your energy level and safety. Give yourself some grace, rest when you need to, and set your own schedule or pace during the holidays. You don't always have to do what you've done in the past. And be open to new traditions, especially those that may fit into your lifestyle and goals. Instead of a large list of gifts to buy, for instance, pare it down or draw names if you have a large family or group of friends. Swap recipes instead of making big meals on your own. And add new experiences like a visit to a museum, going to the movies, or a spa day. So, in conclusion, holidays are full of traditions, fun, and flavor. From shopping, events with friends, decorating, recipes, travel, vacations, self-care time, and maybe some new traditions that we discussed. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. We hope you can make some plans to include celebrations, food, and cooking and travel to increase your joy this time of year. The bottom line is focus on what makes the holidays special to you. Now I'll turn the program back to Ellie for some Q&A.
Thanks, Margaret. This will conclude our presentation, and we will transition into the Q&A. We'll address the questions submitted during the registration, as well as some of those added into the Q&A box. I see Margaret and Heather are both on camera. And so our first question, a patient shared, I am recovering from oral toxicity, which is loss of swallowing and taste. Day 148, and I had Talvey bridging treatment in May 2025. So Thanksgiving is very special. I want to taste everything. What tips would you provide to someone who had to help with loss of taste?
Gosh, that can be such a challenging situation. I think Margaret had a lot of great tips that she shared. Sometimes serving vinegar-based foods with your meal. So that might look like pickles or olives or other pickled vegetables. Tart candies, such as lemon drops, can sometimes be helpful. Margaret included a little bit about this in the slide, and I can share a link in the chat. There's a chef by the name of Rebecca Katz that encourages adding different components to your food and continuing to add little bits of certain things depending on how food tastes until it becomes more palatable. And so in the case of, things not tasting well, adding little bits of sea salt or squeezing a little bit of lemon juice in the food and repeating that process until it tastes better to you may be a good option.
Interesting. Yeah, thank you. So our next question, my husband is battling AML and wears a N95 mask when others are present due to his lack of immunity. Do you have any other creative ways to include him at the table since he can't eat with us?
Well, that's a great question. It makes me think about, I guess, two situations. One, is she asking about what other activities he could enjoy with the group besides eating, or is he going to eat in a separate room? But let's think about what other activities he might like to do with the family. Eating is one activity of the holidays, but there are many more, like playing board games. There are a lot of trivia games out now and holiday card games that the family might enjoy after eating. Writing messages or talking about what we all are thankful for around the table, around the room where he has his mask on might be helpful too. If he's eating in another room, maybe using FaceTime or, having some open line of digital communication between him and the rest of the family might be helpful.
Absolutely. And I kind of thought of Heather's tip to go on a walk after Thanksgiving meal and have a socially distanced walk would even help out. I do think we might have time for one or two more. This next one says, I have been receiving chemotherapy for the past 4 months, and I am planning to go to my brother's house for Thanksgiving. What should I share with him so that he knows what he should do to prepare food safely for me?
Great question and great job thinking in advance to make sure that you are are safe through the holidays. I can share a couple links to documents in the chat from Blood Cancer United that would be great options you can order one of them to be sent to your brother, or you can send him the links as well. The FDA and the CDC both also have some quick, short guidelines for cooking when you might be immunocompromised.
Thank you. And then, of course, as always, we received a handful of questions about sugar. Do you have, this is kind of a big ask. What are the healthiest desserts to eat?
Well, the healthier desserts with less sugar added might be fruits. Fruits could be cooked, they could be made into cakes, muffins that could be like a dessert. Um, Also, if you're baking or making a dessert yourself, experiment with reducing the added sugar that might be put into the recipe. As I said recently, many recipes still taste great if you reduce the sugar by maybe 1/4 or 1/3 over what the recipe calls for. And some people put less sugar in the recipe and maybe add a topping of fruit, which still gives you that wonderful sweet flavor.
Yeah, thank you. Do you have any recommendations of sugar substitutes like honey, or I've also heard of like monk fruit?
Mm, yeah, and so it is important to recognize that any of the sugar substitutes that still contain more than a couple of calories still count as added sugar. And that would be like honey, real maple syrup, or molasses can be great options. Um, and those do contain additional minerals that can bring out more flavors and taste. And so you might not need to use as much. Um, Things like monk fruit or stevia can be great options as well that are calorie free. Um, you know, Sugar-free sweeteners are safe, and including them in moderation is okay. Yeah.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Lily.
All right, so for the sake of time, we do have to wrap up the Q&A here. I know there's a few that we didn't get around to, but thank you for taking the time to answer our questions and for a wonderful program, Heather and Margaret. And then we'll go ahead and close out with just a few final thoughts. The Nutrition Education Services Center, a program of Blood Cancer United, is a free nationwide resource dedicated to supporting cancer patients and caregivers with nutrition education. Our services are designed to help individuals navigate the complexities of nutrition during and after cancer treatment, as well as manage side effects and promote long-term health and survivorship. I encourage you to visit our website, linked below, for a comprehensive look at all that we have to offer. You'll find a wealth of information, including articles, videos, and guides on topics like nutrition by diagnosis, food safety, and caregiver support. You can also schedule a free nutrition consultation directly through the website. So, as mentioned, if you still have questions that weren't answered today or specific to your medical history and diagnosis, Abby, if you can go to the next slide. You can schedule a free one-on-one nutrition consultation over the phone with either Heather or Margaret. You can schedule online or by calling us at the phone number 877-467-1936. In addition, Blood Cancer United offers free booklets, fact sheets, and one-pagers, our most popular being the Nutrition Handbook. You can download them or request free copies by mail through the website bloodcancerunited.org/booklets. And it doesn't just stop there. Here is a look at all of the support and education services Blood Cancer United offers. Take a moment to explore the resources available to you, whether it's online chats, educational videos, podcasts, financial resources, booklets, and more. That will be at bloodcancerunited.org/patient support to learn about all of these offerings. Our blood cancer information specialists are US-based, highly trained, licensed oncology social workers and nurses who are ready to help you or your loved one navigate a blood cancer diagnosis and connect you to financial and social support information. You can find their contact information on the screen, and again, the slides will be available to you shortly after today's program. You can also download our Blood Cancer United Health Manager app to track your meals, symptoms, medications, and even questions for your doctor. These resources are designed to make daily life a little easier and to help you feel more confident in managing your health. And last but not least, thank you so much for joining us today for Unite to Nourish Holiday Eating for Cancer Survivors. We hope that you found this program helpful and that you leave with new information and resources to support you on your journey. Your feedback is very important to us. A short survey will be included in the follow-up email. Please take a few minutes to share your thoughts so we can continue improving and offering programs that matter to you. You can also scan the QR code for the survey that's on the screen. On behalf of Blood Cancer United and the Nutrition Education Services Center, thank you again for spending your time with us today. We wish you all the best on your path to health and wellness, and happy holidays.